Hey you guys, and welcome to the PHAT Nutritionist. That's PHAT for practical, healthy, and tasty. Listen, I don't know if you guys have a sweet tooth, but I keep a sweet tooth. And unfortunately, so do my kids. So today I want to share with you a cake recipe that is half the sugar, but all the flavor. It is an applesauce cake. It has ginger and walnuts and cinnamon and just bursting with flavor. I cannot wait to try it. And I want you guys to try this recipe as well. Remember, half the sugar, full of flavor. Stay tuned. All right, guys, our cake is ready. I'm so excited. It's so beautiful. Now, from the recipe, it said that I was supposed to put it into a 9 by 13 or 13 by 9 loaf pan, but I wanted a bundt cake, so bundt cake it is. Before I cut into this, I want to share something with you about the cookbook that I got this from. Actually, I went to a garage sale and I found this. It was $2. $2! Oh my God! So this recipe book is called, actually it's one of those compilations. It's like Dora Seymour Campaign Cookbook Committee. Either way, I'm super excited to have it. Now, this is what you need to know when you're reading a recipe out of one of these books. These are made or put in the cookbook or put together by home cooks, okay? So this is someone's grandma, this is aunties, aunts, sisters of the church. As I was reading this recipe, I said, okay, there's butter, sugar, eggs, sifted flour. I use cake flour, by the way. There's soda, nutmeg, smooth applesauce, baking powder. And I said, where's the salt in this recipe? Because I know whenever you're baking, you need salt. Salt helps to balance out the flavor. It adds flavor. And it also helps with the structure of whatever it is that you're cooking, whether it's a bread or biscuit or cake in this case. So I said, okay, I'm just gonna have some salt, just in case. So it goes on to say, cream, butter, sugar, and spices together. Add beaten eggs. Sift the flour, salt, soda, and baking powder together. I said, oh, okay. There's the salt, but it was already in the actual instructions of the recipe, but it wasn't in the list. So if you're not a baker and you started to bake from this, I don't know if you're gonna get the same outcome as what was intended from the person that put this in the book. So bake in a moderate oven. What's a moderate oven? I was like, oh my gosh. Luckily it went on to say, okay, oven temperature 350 degrees. I'm like, okay. Baking time, until touch by thumb is firm. So I'm going to tell you guys how long I baked this for. I baked this cake for 35 minutes. 35 minutes. I've never baked a cake that fast. But because it was probably supposed to go into loaf pans, that's probably why it baked so quickly. Enough about that. Let's cut into this baby. Okay. I'll use a nice serrated knife. Okay, here we go. It is so moist. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that. It is so moist. Oh. And you guys know me, I toasted the walnuts before I put them in here. I love toasted nuts. Y'all, this ain't missed a beat. You hear me? Let me show you. Look at that. Oh. I'm getting all over myself. Look at that. It is so moist and delicious. I can taste the nutmeg, the cinnamon. what's crazy is the only liquid was the applesauce and the eggs. That's it. And it's only a half a cup of sugar. Only a half a cup of sugar. So, let me show you the applesauce that I use. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I used Honeycrisp applesauce and no sugar added. So the only sweetness is from the actual apple itself. I did want to show you the sugar substitute that I used. I used the stevia in the raw. So it's very important that you check the ratio on the back of the bag. So whenever you're substituting or using the stevia in the raw, it's going to ask you to just use half of the sugar in place of the white sugar, or half of this sugar substitute in place of the sugar. And the reason it's only having you substitute half is because sugar plays a huge role in baking. You know, it's necessary for browning, it's necessary for the rising and the moisture that's in whatever your pastry or cake or whatever it is that you're baking. So, well guys, that's my show for you today. I'm super excited to have baked a cake with only a half a cup of sugar, and it is delicious. So I hope you guys try it. I hope you love it, because I love it. I can't wait for the kids to try it. So hopefully I'll see you guys next week. Remember, let's prosper through serving others. Take care.